Anisha is the campaign manager for legal progress at the Center for American Progress, CAP. And they are our grantors. I have to write a report to them on this event, as I have the others, but they very kindly gave us a grant to do these events. So one of the other things we're going to do is we're going to send you a survey via email saying, hey, what did you think of this and what did you learn? Please answer the survey. It won't take you more than 2 minutes. It's a pretty straightforward yes, no, multiple choice survey. Anisha is a lawyer. She's also a Floridian. She got her bachelor's at FSU. She is very dedicated to this issue. She also has had a stunning legal career. She won a anti-discrimination suit against the U.S. Army. Anisha.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Nancy, and thank you all for having me here. It's been wonderful coming home to my home state of Florida from Washington, D.C., so this is a great excuse, so thank you so much for having me. So just a little bit of background to piggyback off of what Nancy was just saying. I am the campaign manager for Legal Progress at the Center for American Progress. My main role every day is to work on the Why Courts Matter campaign. And you know, before this, I worked for a anti-discrimination nonprofit, and I worked on that Army case and other cases. And so, what brought me from working on anti-discrimination, post 9/11 type of discrimination and hate crime issues to the courts? Well, the courts affect every single issue that we all care about, whether you care about voting rights, whether you care about marriage equality, the environment, name an issue, and the courts are important. But it's not an issue that Americans talk about or care about. You know, people are very engaged with the executive branch, the legislative branch. They know what's happening there, but no one can list off who's on our Supreme Court. No one can even tell you how our judicial process works or how we appoint our judges. They just kind of leave that to the lawyers. Well, what happens when you just leave that to the lawyers is the conservatives on the right have for over 40 years been taking advantage of that system, where they have been instilling conservative judges in our courts throughout the country. And so then we start seeing our voter ID laws being exactly where we don't want them to be. We're seeing a lot of the progressive issues we care about not exactly going the way we want it to be, because we're paying attention to things like the Supreme Court. But the fact of the matter is only about 75 cases a year go to the Supreme Court. There are tens of thousands of cases that go through our lower courts, and we're not even talking about those cases. And that includes here in Florida. So, you know, this is my home state, and I'm passionate about this state, but we know we have a lot of work to do here. And one of those things is the amount of obstruction that is coming out of our Senator Rubio. So the way the process works, just a quick overview. The senators kind of suggest nominees to the president nominates judges for our federal courts, and then the senators have to approve of that, and then the entire Senate has to vote on that nominee. Marco Rubio took a very long time to nominate or to suggest anyone. He has been completely absent at all votes this year. He hasn't shown up for anything. He hasn't spoken out and pushed the Senators McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, to hold a hearing or a vote for his nominees here in the state of Florida. So our goal here at Why Courts Matter and for this campaign is in Florida and other states where we're seeing the same problem, to push everyday Americans to tell their senators to do their job. And that's why you see this banner here. The Do Your Job campaign is one of our favorite slogans, because it's something we can all relate to do. The obstruction that we're seeing coming out of our Senate has been unprecedented. We have the largest caseload we have ever seen in U.S. history. We have the longest wait times for nominees who have been nominated by our president, even though we're seeing great diversity numbers coming out of the White House when it comes to nominations, unprecedented amounts of diversity, those judges, those nominees are just waiting on the Senate floor. Here in Florida, Flores, she has been waiting over a year to be confirmed, and Marco Rubio hasn't even turned in his paperwork to say he approves of her. So that is the kind of situation that we're seeing here in Florida and across the country. Now, as you know, Justice Scalia passed away, and that opened up an opportunity in a way for us to really lift up this issue throughout the country and fill that vacancy and hope that we could trickle that down to our lower courts as well. Well, that has not happened. It has been unprecedented here as well with the amount of obstruction we are seeing. The longest a Supreme Court nominee has ever waited for confirmation is 125 days. He's about at 200 days of waiting now. On October 3rd, we will start our next Supreme Court term, and it'll be the first time in history that 2 Supreme Court terms are affected by a vacancy in American history. So these are the kind of obstructionist numbers that now we have and the precedent we are setting for future presidencies and senates. So once again, our job is to lift up that obstruction and really push our senators to do their job. So here in Florida, we have such a great coalition, all of you, and Progress Florida, who wasn't able to come today, who are based out in Tallahassee, doing amazing work. They've been doing resolutions, events outside Rubio's office. They had someone dressed up as Lady Justice blinded to show the access to justice is being denied. And they've gone to Rubio's offices, they've held petitions, written op-eds, LTEs, done TV interviews, done marches, I mean, name it, and they've tried to do it and continue to do it. So we really appreciate the great work and really hope that all of you will continue to get involved. Write something if you're a business owner, write how the courts affect you and how you want Marco Rubio to do his job. There's always room for it. Again, this courts affect every single issue. So we really hope you will get involved. Again, Florida has 6 vacancies right now, and 4 of them have been considered judicial emergencies, which basically means the judges can't handle the caseload anymore and they need help. So hope you guys will get involved. Thank you for being here and thank you for having me.